then every step forward will always be a step closer to home.
So step on up to the place. Need to face what can spill into the light of us. Step on up to the place. 'Cause this ain't no game. It's time to make history.
Hey everyone, hopefully Roxas here, and something I've been kind of wanting to do for a while, but we never had a chance to really do it because, well, I don't have, usually I don't have a microphone, a regular one, and normally I usually just make videos back when I did with my share factor. And, well, this was something I wanted to do when this came out last year, which was kind of a react, a discussion, and like a commentary to the Kino Casino, the Dented Zone. One of the two movie projects they did last year. So I'll give at least a brief summary about the movie and how it came to be. So Phil decided to work with Kino Casino, a podcast that kind of talks about like locale and like weird people online, run by PPP and Andy, two Canadians who found Phil and kind of, boost him up as he thinks he was king, and then things kind of started escalating where he kind of like he broke up with them, and then they decided, they made fun of Phil, and where he didn't really defend his wife or try. It kind of just went to now, oh, he doesn't need them, and then he kind of started to kind of lose anything that he got from Kino Casino. And it would kind of start Phil's like downfall of trying to keep trying to get back that momentum he got from Kino Casino. So he tried that with Ashton, and that bump didn't last. I try to do drama content, but it's not getting him like the quick views he wants it to be, because really the algorithm doesn't really care for Phil and it shows. So Phil is really much just floundering about trying to do everything he can. And one of the things he said was, "Oh, Kino Casino don't have any like talent. They don't put any effort. They go on vacation when they want to." So they decided, while we were on vacation, let's make a entire parody video about how Phil would slowly waste everything in his life, how his life would be, and to the point where he is outlasts everybody, but he has nothing to show for it. And he will basically suddenly die on stream. Now, I had to edit the video because the original video is like an hour and 2 minutes. An hour and 3 minutes, by the way. And I had to do some editing. To at least trim it down, because I'm going to split it into 2 parts. And the 2 parts will be released around the same time, but one time after another. I mean, if this video gets found, I'm going to share it on my Twitter if I can. So say, hey, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, because I've always talked about it on my Twitter, but I want to go in more detail. But I want to go into... So, what I had to edit was just anything to do with masturbation, or anything too explicit. Other than that, it keeps most of the stuff there, and we'll see where we can go. Let's begin. So this is going to be a long one. I am going to lose my voice for the whole thing. Oh boy. 3, 2, 1. So, honestly, I know about Twilight Zone. Like, I think there's not a soul who doesn't know about Twilight Zone. So I feel like it's very interesting their first movie was to be kind of a parody of the Twilight Zone. And it kind of, the big of the Twilight Zone is always had like these stories of these people, and then their lives changed by like, one event, and it kind of ends like, there's no happy ending in the episode of Twilight Zone, but it was like a classic show, and like everyone knows about it. Now, They took DSP Pikachu. They were able to archive this, but this one doesn't have a lot of music. Um, he does add some music to places where it can, where it needs to be. But other than that, it is missing a bit of music. So here is Andy playing Phil. He does a pretty good job of getting a lot of his mannerisms to the point. He dresses like Phil. This is before Phil's crazy, like, oh, I'm buff, I'm working out, I'm muscular now. Like, you're all jealous of me. I'm aging gracefully. Like, they do catch that whole like gym arc later on. The second one, it's a Dented Life. But here they this was a Halloween. This is basically the Halloween special, and we're really seeing like this is what Phil's streams are every day on Kick, and this is what he does. This is all he does. Now I'm just going off basically just like what it is. I'm not hearing this while I'm recording it. I'm just seeing this what's going on. But I know this. I know the Dented Zone so much. I don't really have to like, oh, I know this. I have to pause when the setting has to go on. It's something I know too much. But I want to talk more about it because it's very interesting that when you think back when a lot of the chapters came around the time, we would never have a lot of this kind of like parody, song parodies, kind of parody films, stuff like that. Back in the day, the SOK. The SOK definitely has some kind of control of the distracted community of like what they want, of what can or cannot do. And it was a kind of, you didn't notice it, but it felt like it. What they were gone, there was a lot more freedom to do what you want and have express it in ways. We found a lot more creativity. And even Ashton and Andy, they've known Phil for at least a year and a half or so. And they knew enough to recreate them. Now, nowadays, they talk about Phil here and there at times. They usually ignore it sometimes because Phil can be a bit taxing and boring. And that's fine. I think that they're talking about people like Quartering, and all these, and like iDubbbz, like that, and other like interesting people and interesting. Like they have talked about other people they were interesting about talking about. When it came to when the Turkey Tom stuff happened, they did talk about it, but it was just basically some scorned girlfriend decided to lie, and then everyone else kind of jumped on it. And I myself kind of believe that. But I mean, then again, I've been around this kind of like, oh, like this kind of nonsense before, so I should have known that. Always don't be wary of like who's telling the truth or not. But that's just normal. So we're just basically here seeing what Phil is like, how his streams are, and this is what his streams are now. And now, when this was made, this was before Phil changed his setup a bit or try to make his prove his setup. So this is like what his setup was at the point of when they came back around October.
I'm serious.
This was their setup. The setup at the
For
time.
whom each day is the same day.
They have said they want to do a trilogy. I'm curious of what the read's gonna be. There's so much material they can do. There's so much. I feel like they can definitely create something good. Honestly, my only criticism is that as much as it's funny to make fun of Phil's like closet homosexuality, to tone it down a bit, because I think that as you know, it really definitely told that line so much, like what they could do in Dented Life compared to here. Now, this actually does add something they mentioned was removed, but this was something I know for a fact was not there when I think the original upload. I don't remember if this was coming is based on what was showed on their Rumble. Oh, the Rumble or the Kick time. What happens? I don't remember that part. But there is an extra scene before the Andy and Phil driving together scene. But that's another thing. Like it definitely, like I said, they do go more into Phil's gay into the life. Now, people were wondering, like, what they do with other characters. Jasper, Cat. Well, Jasper, you kind of see, you see him in 2 in the second movie, but don't see much. You'll see you only see, well, you'll see Jasper, but it's actually funny when you see him. I mean, Jasper will be dead by then anyway, but I won't spoil too much apart from that part I just said. As for Cat, well,
In Mr. Burnell's world, every
well,
moment is scheduled
we know
to
that
maximize
Cat is
motivation.
now big, and Phil would say about now that Cat is not big.
To beg daily
So
is
Cat
his
is
life.
played by
To change
PP.
is impossible.
PP is actually shorter than Andy, which is so crazy to look at in hindsight. But it definitely makes it interesting because that is what it is. And this is Bill's stream, and him talk about he could sue the factors. I think if he doesn't make money, what I think is going to happen now, Bill has definitely been having like 4 slow days so far at the time making making this video.
I'm trying to think, but
And he could do it, but I feel like he's gonna waste more money than trying to. Other than that, this is basically what his streams are now. And honestly, trapping him on Kick has got to be probably the best idea they have, because now it puts him on a platform that is failing him now. And now he is basically stuck on a platform that's doing nothing for him. But I guess that is kind of, we call it karma. It's karma for Phil for how he treated the casino, and this is basically Phil getting the aftermath. Now he is stuck on a platform that basically not working for him. And honestly, that's good. I think that sooner or later Phil is going to find completely crashed out on Kick. And here now he's just pointing his finger like I have stamina. Like he does probably thinking command his audience, but well, basically kind of he does seem like he has a bit of cold, like cold, and he doesn't really have that much control. I feel like nowadays you can say Phil does not have that same kind of control as he did before. Okay, now we're coming to the Dented Zone intro.
There is a fifth
Now, fun fact,
which is
there are like a few detractors that do kind of like a Twilight Zone intro.
a dimension of snorts.
Shout outs to Dante Crisis. He has his own Dented Zone. His own Twilight Zone intro.
And it lies
Honestly, he's been pretty busy with stuff. He comes and goes. He does do lesser endures of Phil content, or let's appreciates. He focused on his own stuff. So I feel like he probably would have enjoyed or liked both Dented Zone and the Dented Life, because they're pretty funny and they accurate to like what's Phil's life. So now we're kind of in the what is the Twilight Zone. It focuses on the life of the character and what now their life is now. We're now kind of seeing this is Phil's life. He gets off stream. Oh, there's Jasper. Oh, and yeah, just that. And this is like, I love the fact that they have them all separate beds. Hang in there. Oh boy. And there's Cat. Yeah. They definitely hit at the fact that Cat is big now. And I think they definitely, but not only like, oh gosh, he's that big. But they definitely get the idea that this is their life. They're not, it's hard to call them a couple because they make separate beds. They probably do. And this is what he has to see every day. And they portray Phil a little bit like this is how this is his life. This is what he done to this woman. Now, granted, I wouldn't say Kat is a great person, but I don't think she deserves being this fat. Like, she was not this big when she started, and it's hard to say if she's going to survive because, well, there's no way she's going to survive looking like this forever. So, you're probably wondering what I had to cut. Well, you'll notice it when you see the switch. I had to cut obviously the May 1st burst scene. Like, okay, yeah, yes, it's iconic. It's iconic, but I'm not gonna have all this massive, all this sexual content, all this kind of weird, all this sexual content on my channel like that. Like, this kind of, like, even when I do talk about Phil, I always be careful and I always told my own line. I can talk about Phil, but I would never show any, or I'd be careful what thing he talks about. I would never, like, have, oh, I would never have the whole, like, some jerk off scene. So I took out a few.
I should
Just
buy
one
your
of them, actually.
underwear from Calvin Klein.
But only I kept most of it as it is. Like,
Philip Burnell is
the
a
second
man whose
half
life
is going to be
ravaged
pretty.
by
The second half is
addiction.
pretty long.
He
This
is
is the
an
short
alcoholic,
half.
a chronic
But
gambler,
the second half is pretty
and a
long.
chronic masturbator.
Now we come to the first dream sequence. This one I did not remember seeing when they premiered this on Kick. I think this is what they were talking about. This is what they were talking about. But honestly, this gives me picket fence vibes.
This is the most
If you don't know what that is, it's a classic Nickelodeon show, Nick at Night show in the 90s, where it kind of where a boy has a dream about this like woman woman in her underwear in his room,
You mean that?
and that kind of dream, that dream that boys have of an older woman. It was kind of like that, and this one again. Yeah. By the way, if you're wondering if this is zoomed up, yeah, I had to because I don't know. I can deal with this, but I don't think I can deal with the jerk off scene.
Phil, you're my favorite person
But
to game with.
But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this could be a pick-up fence reference because it's something I feel like Andy and PP probably would know about it. It was something I'm sure was in Canada showing, but it could not be. Maybe. But honestly, kind of showing that Phil is thinking of men under not thinking about his wife, it's very important. It shows who Phil is. He doesn't love her. She did that for convenience. And speaking of that, let's get to the scene that I'm pretty sure many of us like. It feels like this goes on, where Phil will give Cat his. Yeah. He gives Cat. This is where he kind of starts giving Cat the pre-stream or like what's going on, and yeah, this is what I feel Phil would do. Like this is what I feel Phil would do. Cause this, like, yeah, you do feel bad for Cat here. Like she's just sad and like her moo and just like the terrible haircut she has. Because again, this is pretty much based on how she looked. Like this is just sad. There is not much to talk about the conversation. This is just like how Phil, like, he talks like, "Oh, this is great food we're eating, even though it's just frozen pizzas we got from Costco." And how for Phil kind of like gives her the pre-stream conversation. What I feel like something Phil would do, and Kat just sits there. This is how you know Phil had no one to talk to, and Kat doesn't want to deal with him. And it really does show that Phil has given up everything to have like anything like normal friends or actual people around him. And yet he wants a happy, successful, happy life, happy wife. It's basically just a projection because he doesn't have any of that. And yet, and again, the deadpan stare she has. Like they definitely, like they capture like this is what Kat is. And at the time, is this their way of saying they feel bad for Kat? They wish maybe she had a better life? Here or there, maybe, but I think that isn't just their way of saying this is what Kat did every day. And honestly, this is kind of what we feel like this is the right way. They're not really spending time together, even when they're off. Phil is on his phone, playing WWE Champions, at downstairs playing Skyrim, being depressed of her life choices, and that they just buy stuff online, and this is what their life is. Phil doesn't even care about Jasper. The fact he can call him Jasper, he's so cringe. But this is just like, this is what Phil's life is, and we're seeing it now. And now we're gonna get to like we're gonna get to where Phil crashes out to Kat soon, which I feel could happen one day. Where he just snaps up and not talking to him. But this is just like, how do you talk to someone that you're meant to be quote unquote you love? And this is what their life is. So probably their room is, but everything in their house is quiet. I don't think Phil listens to music. I don't think he watches TV anymore. And he doesn't want to play games because I have to remind him of his work because he doesn't even enjoy. Other than that, this is just a very much an accurate representation of their relationship, and makes you kind of feel bad for Kat, but it's hard to say. Alright, here comes Crash Out. I think the Crash Out's coming. Not yet, but it's coming. It's like, imagine this is your conversation all the time. I know I'm rambling, but it's just like, so much did not go. It's like, how do you, this is what you have to deal with every day. He gives her the business meeting pre-stream every day. That's her life. That is everything this woman has now gone through. And yet Phil thinks that, oh, Ashton wants is gay for you, that he Andy is gay, Ashton's gay for you, so that's why he dresses up with your wife, he wants to be with you? No, he's making fun of the fact this is what you basically wanted. You turned Kat into you, a lazy slob who exists to do nothing. You're not her soulmate, you're not doing anything for you, you're not even very married. That little plastic on that little metal ring means nothing. And now here comes the crash out. I think now the crash out. But I keep forgetting how long the scene goes. But yeah, it just feels like this is not a relationship. And one thing about locales in a relationship, they never go well. Because at the end of the day, people, here it is. Talk to me, Kat! Talk to me! Like, boy, this is truly a domestic relationship, and we kind of see it. This is a true idea of what Kat goes through. And I think it's kind of good. That kind of makes sense why they choose to not have Kat talk. If Kat talks, it gives her a proper character, which I feel like they wouldn't want to do. And here, she's just a law does nothing while Phil rages at nothing. And then, Kat picks her nose and digging for gold and makes it because she's autistic. Allegedly, we don't know. But I think coming up, and yes, I had to cut out the jerk off scene because Phil's legs are spread up.
Like
this is what they feel.
Catherine starts a new
Kat's life
and cries about
terrible.
all of her life decisions.
And they definitely. Oh yeah, this is based on the first time we got to see Kat for a while was behind her head. Behind her head. We never got to see it, her face. So I cut out the jerk off scene and Phil's legs are spread up. But here, she's crying. I think they definitely portrayed her right here, because this is her life. And she can't go anywhere. No, her family doesn't want her. And now they have Phil out in public. And they gotta have Phil, she's always out in wearing the sweatpants and stuff. Because his whole like, how he dresses, this is how he dresses now. This is how paranoid I think he probably is to the real world. He's begun so much online, he probably worries that anyone's an attractor. But the thing what Phil doesn't get is that no one is stalking Phil the same way that other locales are being documented. The reason why Christian was the mostly documented person is that he was so crazy that people could how can this weird comic be made by a grown adult? And people found interesting in just seeing what they can do to mess with him. Nowadays, Chris 3 is basically boring. The only thing that matters is that Chris is still getting people to pay him on Etsy. He's saying not to the dimensional merge. He's crashing out about stuff.
Wait, did
He
someone
doesn't
tell me
understand and complaining about Neptunia right now. Dimensional merge, all that. Daniel Larson, we know he's probably gonna get back out into the real world, but hopefully he is not allowed online, or this all happens again. And then you have like and then you have Cobra when he was alive. It was basically just watching a man just kind of like drink himself and like his terrible health. And I know I'm talking about the locales in the film right now, but you kind of see what I'm talking about. Is that the most intriguing thing about locales is the nonsense they do. And this is what Phil does every day. Even though I'm 100%,
do I get the
Phil
helmet
just
mayonnaise or the miracle
buys
whip?
all the stuff
The
online.
miracle whip is
He
more
doesn't go
tempting
outside
than the
anymore.
helmet is just-
And that's why I'm 100% that whole like story about the stolen bags, as well as the
But
stolen
if a
tire,
detractor sees
didn't
me,
happen.
they'll think I'm poor, and they'll tell
Oh
everyone.
god, I feel like he would do that. He can. I didn't mention this before, but like Phil uses to be like tanky, robust. He tries to use these big like words, like try to make food sound interesting because he wants to sound intelligent, but it comes off as someone who has absolutely no idea about food, and it shows. And he pretty much has a very limited vocabulary. Nowadays, you see Phil, he kind of uses words he hears online. Like, he hears the word slop, he kind of just, like, forces it into his vocabulary. He begins to kind of, like, regress back into calling people the R word. But that's just so Phil has really no idea how to talk like a person. And then when you try to talk, he talks like someone who barely talks to somebody, and it shows. Which said a lot. And yeah, that's what I think Phil does all the time, find lottery tickets, but fails. So we're going to be coming to where I had to split this part up. So we're going to be seeing the scene with the driving scene twice because I need to had to break it up. So I guess this first half is very much the first half is more about this is Phil's daily life, and it's just what he thinks is exciting, but you see how mundane and boring and bad it is. He can't even make money to like win the lottery. He basically drinks all the time. Cat is just a vegetable, and that's it. He has nothing in his life anymore. He has nothing. You see a man who knows he's not successful, and a loveless marriage, and he's achieved
Philip
nothing.
Burnell is a man who doesn't win quite easily. So of course he needs to go back to the
And I
lottery.
think that I feel like
Of course,
sums up
another
Phil the
masturbation
most
session
is
before
that
passing
this
out
is
on
his
the
life,
floor.
and now he crashes out. So the song that plays here originally was "You Got a Fast Car," and that's what the song originally played. Other than that, this is really much like what Phil driving cat. Like you can tell, I think you can tell before Phil basically broke off with the Kino Casino. I think he actually liked it. He really liked Andy as a friend, or sorry, I think he likely saw Andy as a friend, and I think he kind of was trying to make Andy, or I think Andy and Ashton knew John Rambo and Howard. And I think that is what Bill kind of was trying to see, and here portraying it like this kind of romantic side, because really they like portraying Phil gay, which is I think is what Phil is. I feel like Phil is in the closet, and he's been in the closet. And I think that this is just like very closeted feeling because he could never really I think he is very much in the closet, but that's up to debate. But the next part is going to be, again, the scene will be showed again. I don't try to cut this out, but I don't cut this out. But this is basically the first half is This is Phil's life. This is what his life is. Frank cannot barely get people to like his content. Drinking himself, jerking off, jerks off scenes that I will remove. His loveless marriage, and maybe his like heterosexual like dreams about other men, like Andy. But that's his life. And next part is going to be seeing his life continue, where it is going to go worse. So, honestly, first thoughts. The first half was pretty good. This is part I think a lot of people like the most, because it kind of is a very good idea of like the life he has is this now. This is his life, this is everything he has, and he's going to be stuck with it. His life isn't perfect. He gets and then after he basically drinks himself, he just gets on stream, and that's it. So, this part will be split. So, hope you enjoyed. This is me, Roxas99. I'll see you in the next part. We'll continue on of the Dented Zone. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.
Now, guys, we really need to hit that goal today. I need that money. I really, really need that money.